What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the politics and BS. I wanted to talk about this fact, and this is just a fact. We have been, since this debate happened that I did not watch, I've seen a few clips of it, but I refuse to watch it because I just can't sit and listen to this man that has been in countless videos and photos with J. Epps. And if you know what I am talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying not to say the name. The man who owned the island, that has the flight log, that was in prison, that allegedly took his own life, that I really don't believe that he did. The man that wished Ghislaine Maxwell, wished her well when she was on trial while he was in the office of the presidency, and one of the reporters asked him his thoughts on Ghislaine Maxwell. And he knows a whole lot more than what he's led on to. But he said that he wished her well. The man who said that J. Epps was a great guy and that he really had a thing for young girls. The man that has been found liable for sexual assault. The man that keeps lying about the fact that he had sex with Stormy Daniels, calls her horsey face, and these idiots in the audience at these rallies, when he says this, they're laughing like it's funny, as if he is a prize, and that it is an honor to say that you had sex with this disgusting clown. This man that has been terrible in business, but because of who he is, he's been constantly propped up in business. Bankruptcy after bankruptcy after bankruptcy. What other human being do you know could be in business and continuously fail in business, but the banks keep giving them money? I wish. I wish. Okay? But I'm saying I could not sit and listen to him lie, because that's all he does. He lies, he calls names, and he sometimes gives some false promises by way of talking about policies, because he really doesn't have any knowledge of what he is to be doing as a president. And I just was like, I can't sit and listen to that. I'm not going to do it. But the reason the media, the mainstream media, keeps focusing on Joe Biden and his age and him having a bad night at the debates is because the owners of the mainstream media, the CEOs, they are all Trump donors. Like, are you kidding me? They keep focusing on Joe Biden and gaffes and slip-ups, but they're not focusing on the fact that all Donald Trump did was lie during the debates. Tell me why that is. The reason why is because the CEOs of these media conglomerates are all Trump donors. This is why. So even if the network is somewhat supposedly, allegedly left-leaning, like people think CNN is, like people think MSNBC is, ultimately, these news conglomerates, these news organizations, the money talks. And the people that are owning, or who are the CEOs, or not even and are the CEOs of these media conglomerates, they're Trump donors. So they have an agenda to push. Listen, I've said over and over again, I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I'm not even an independent. But it is foolish to me for the regular people who think that Trump getting in office is going to be beneficial for them is absolutely insane. But a vote for Joe Biden isn't a vote for he is a great guy and he's the best president there ever was. It's not about that. It really is, in my viewpoint, the fact that the majority, not all, but the majority of the Republicans are hypocrites, sellouts, liars, and they're looking out for their own best personal interests. They're not looking out for the best interests of the country that they are supposed to be representing. And that's why it's really important to vote in the local elections, because a lot of these losers and these clowns that are propping Donald Trump up, that have sold out, the majority of them who said a whole lot of negative things about Trump before he became the president, and now they've sold out because they want to keep their seats, they got voted into Senate and Congress by way of the local elections. So it's really important for people to know that the reason why this presidential election is really important is because a lot of people don't vote a lot of people don't vote in the presidential elections. More people vote in the presidential elections and national elections than they vote in the local elections. The reasons why right now it's really important is because a lot of people don't pay attention to what's going on locally and they don't vote in the local elections. So that's how you get these lunatics like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's representing a district in Georgia where she just pretty much got slid in there because she didn't really have much of an opponent. And a lot of the good people, not saying that there's a lot of great people that run for office. I get it. I understand. But a lot of the really good people, they don't want to get involved because they know how slimy and nasty it is. And it's even worse now because people allowed a celebrity who only cared about himself, a narcissistic lunatic who does nothing but lie, to get in office when he really didn't believe he was going to win the first time. It was all marketing. It was all about marketing and promotion. Him coming down that escalator at Trump Tower, that was the start of an immense marketing campaign. I'll run for president. He got so much free press and marketing and promotion by way of all of these news outlets showcasing him that first go around, because a lot of them thought that he had no chance of winning. But the American people spoke foolishly, not all of them, but the ones that got him in office, they spoke foolishly by voting for a personality, a character, a celebrity, and feeling fed up with politics and all this other stuff. So they thought that he was going to be a good choice, a good pick. And he's not. If people were really honest, going over the policies of things that he did while he was in office, it wasn't beneficial to a lot of the people that say that they are going to vote for him now, or they're not going to vote at all, or Joe Biden is a terrible president. I ain't saying Joe Biden is the best. I'm not saying that he's a great person. I'm not saying that he's the best thing, since sliced bread. I'm not saying those things. But if the Republicans, for the most part, stood up to say, you know what, we need to rid ourselves of him, then we would be done with him. And then I'm not saying that even politics as usual is a good thing. But if you look at Project 2025, these people are absolutely insane. They want people that are going to be pushing what he wants. It's not about what's best for the majority. They really want the minority. And I'm not talking about minorities in terms of ethnicity. I'm talking about minority in terms of the thought process, the mindsets, the beliefs. As even myself being someone who believes in God and even believes in Jesus Christ, I'm not foolish enough to believe that this is a Christian nation. It's not. The country was supposed to be founded for freedom of religion. So although I am somebody who believes in God and believes in Jesus, I don't push my beliefs on other people. I don't try to convert people to believe like I believe. I don't do that. Reason? I don't want anybody who believes what they believe that I don't believe to push it on me. The country was supposed to be founded on freedom of religion. Although I know that when this country was founded, people that look like me we're not free. So I'm not even foolish enough to act like it was about people like me either. But I definitely don't believe that this is a Christian nation. And I just don't agree that people should be tuning out because they're over it. They really need to stand up and vote against him. So a vote for Biden is a vote against Donald Trump because people just really need to be done with him. Now, I'm not saying that if he didn't win again, he wouldn't try to run for office again, but he's 78 right now. Joe Biden would not be able to serve again. We already know that. Chances of Kamala Harris being president is slim to none. All right. And at that time, Donald Trump would be 82? So I would hope and think at that time, people would say he's too old. And then maybe the dementia that I believe is already there would be kicking in a whole lot more. And that's the other thing. The reason why the mainstream media is focusing on Biden's gaffes, his slip ups, his age, he's too old, is because it's the CEOs and the owners of these mainstream media outlets' best interest for Trump to be in office. But why are they not focusing on his slip ups, his brain issues, the doctors that have said that they believe that he does have dementia and it's getting worse? They're not talking about Trump's mental issues, but they're focusing on Biden's. They both have issues. And it always amazes me when I hear people say Joe Biden is too old. Maxine Waters came out and said what she said.
Now at a point in time where people are talking about Biden is too old. Hell, I'm older than Biden.
You look good, Congresswoman.
And I get up every morning.
All right.
And I exercise.
All right.
And I work late hours.
All right.
I take care of black people.
All right.
Trump has told you who he is. He defined himself. He is a no good, deplorable, lying, despicable human being. And he's talking about if he doesn't win, there's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be violence. There's going to be a civil war. Who the hell do you think he's coming after? Who's going to be targeted? Who is he talking about? But you know he means business because he is the one that led the invasion on the Capitol January 6th. Now, do we have to talk about the difference between these two? Now, I want to tell you, no matter what anybody says, it ain't going to be no other Democratic candidate. It's going to be Biden, and we better know it. Now,
so, yeah, this talk about replacing Joe Biden, they need another Democratic candidate. This is all, and it's not a joke, so I'm not even laughing like it's funny, but it's just really ridiculous. This all got played up, of course, because of the mainstream media and who's in the background, the owners and the CEOs of these mainstream media networks, which are all Trump donors. It's amazing to me that they're not giving that same energy that they're giving on Joe Biden than what they're giving to what Donald Trump is not receiving in terms of Joe Biden had some gaffes and some slip-ups. Donald Trump was lying the entire time. When, to be quite frank, if they held, and I said this after the debate happened, even though I didn't watch it, when I was hearing the rumblings, I said, well, the man is 81 years old. Why are they having a debate at 8 or 9 o'clock at night? They should have had it at like 5 or 6 o'clock. Like news time. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having it later. Because the man is usually in bed asleep by that time. And that's just the God's honest truth. the older you get, the more rest you need. You need to go to bed earlier. Donald Trump, he just lies all the time. The man could be up at 2, 3 in the morning doing these posts on his Truth social media platform that, ironically, the mainstream media has not talked about, and how he has grifted from people to get them to invest in his project that he's made so much money from that has been a disaster. And a lot of these people have lost so much money. There was even a story about a man that was retired and had invested so much money. Now, he was stupid to do this, so I'm not blaming Donald Trump for that. You never should invest money that you can't afford to lose. But nobody invests the money thinking that they're going to lose, so I get that too. But he invested so much money in that Truth Social platform. I'm quite sure he was a MAGA person, thinking that Donald Trump was the savior, the great white hope that was going to make him rich in his late years. He lost so much money that he had to go back to work and get out of retirement. But the mainstream media, they don't report about stories like that. So this is why they're focusing on Biden's slip-ups over Donald Trump's lies. Period. Because it's in their best interest, better for their bottom line, to have Trump be in office again, so that, one, it would benefit them in the future for their tax cuts, for deregulations, for all of those different things that benefit them as executives and owners and CEOs, and also better for them in the forefront when it comes to the news, because Donald Trump, hate him or love him, he brings the views, because people will hate watch or they'll love watch. Either way, he brings the views. Joe Biden, like any other president before him, is boring. Like, seriously, before Donald Trump, do you remember hearing about a president every day on the news or breaking news about something that the president said or did? We didn't live in that time. And I get it, times change, but this is absolutely insane. This man that says he wants to be a dictator on day one, you really think he wants to get out of that seat again if he were to get in it? He wants to be a king. And the Supreme Court is trying to make that happen. But anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts. You can let me know yours in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.